Yeah, maybe we should go with it, because you made a good point, right? Yeah, maybe I'm gonna tell you.
Are we ready, Jesse? Oh. Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Folks over there, you seem so far away, but hope everybody's doing well. Here in the room, we're in a very big room, but nice to see everyone, and thanks, everyone, for coming out. Welcome to Manhattan Community Board 4's November full board meeting. I'm Jessica Chait, excuse me, chair of the board. And as I said, I want to thank everyone for coming out, and of course, Pier 57 and Hudson River Park Trust for hosting us this evening. Before we begin, a few reminders. Our hybrid policy is posted on our website, and board members are expected to attend meetings in person unless they have a disability or an extraordinary circumstance. Committee members with excused absences and members of the public may still participate virtually. Board members joining via Zoom must keep their cameras on when voting. And tonight's meeting, as all of our meetings, are being streamed live on our YouTube channel, and a transcript will be recorded and archived there for public access. Signups for the public hearing and public session were available in advance as always, and paper signups are available just outside the room on the table there. So if you are here in the room and want to speak but did not sign up in advance, or not sure if you signed up in advance, please go outside and make sure your name is on the paper. We have a public hearing tonight on our statement of district needs, and at every meeting we have a public session, which anyone is invited to come and speak for 2 minutes of any topic of their choosing. So please, if you wanted to speak and have not yet signed up, see the sign up sheet outside. We close the sign up sheet at 6:45 at our meeting, so you have 7 minutes to excuse yourself. Following the election last night, I want to offer congratulations to State Senator Brad Hoylman-Siegel, Councilmember Eric Botcher, and Borough President, soon-to-be Controller Mark Levine. And meanwhile, in this time of transition and instability at the federal level, I want to commend and continue to encourage everyone who has been reaching out about how to support their neighbors, our neighbors, at this difficult time. I think we'll hear more about some of that in our public session later this evening, and I'll share some updates as well in my remarks. But really have been encouraged to get emails and have comments from folks saying, what more can we do to support our neighbors? Tonight, we will have a presentation and a hearing on the board statement of district needs and budget requests for fiscal year 2027. And later, we will hear from the nominating committee chaired by Alice Wong. Is out? Did I? Oh, Alice is joining virtually? Yes. Okay. And then before we dive into our agenda tonight, I often give some remarks of this kind. Hopefully they will be redundant or unnecessary this evening, but I just want to remind us that we come together as neighbors, people who may not always agree, but who share a deep commitment to this community. Over time, I think we've made real progress towards creating a space that reflects respect for everyone who joins our meetings in person and online. The topics we discuss and the letters or events we respond to can often be difficult or even contentious. That's understandable. But it's also why we have to conduct, it's also why how we conduct ourselves here matters. Each of us helps set the tone of this space, and that tone affects how others feel comfortable attending as well as sharing their opinions and perspectives. Some of us may be used to sharp elbows or sharp tongues, but not everyone is. And our goal as a board is to create an environment where all voices feel welcome and safe to participate. So as we move through tonight's discussions and all discussions going forward, I ask everyone to be mindful not just of what you say, but how you say it. And for those joining, whether from the board or the public, I encourage you to stick to the facts, not finger pointing or name calling, not he said, she said, assumptions or conjecture. And to remember that other perspectives can be valid even if we don't share them. We're at our best when we approach one another with curiosity and respect, even in disagreement. I also want to acknowledge that tonight I expect we'll hear some troubling information about the moves taking place in Phase 0 at Fulton Elliott Chelsea, which may be new information for some. I want board members to know that I have been in regular communication with the Attorney General's office, who I know is monitoring this very closely. Where they have concerns, and they have concerns, they have shared them with NYCHA and the electeds, and I know they will continue to do so. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Roberta. I believe we're ready, right? We're ready for our presentation, on the MCB4 Statement of District Needs and Budget Requests. I want to again thank Roberta as second vice chair. This is a tremendous amount of work, and of course, all of the committee members who joined her in preparing for this evening. It's a death trap. Yeah, danger.
Jesse, do you have Yeah. Go. So good evening. There will be a presentation, but while we're teeing it up, tonight we will be voting on the Statement of District Needs. This will entail MCB4's upcoming fiscal year budget priorities. Every year, the city charter mandates that each community board take stock of needs within the district and submit those to the city. So in September and October, the budget task force met to put together this coming year's priorities. And so you'll see it called FY 2027. That is because it is the fiscal year 2027 that starts in July 2026. So we put together two documents that we'll send out this evening. The first is a list of capital and expense budget priorities. And then there is a narrative that will accompany those priorities. I'll provide an overview of those tonight. We'll vote on them together. And if there are small issues, errors, omissions, feel free to send me an email. But unless something is controversial or not within the spirit of the narrative or priorities, no need to kind of raise it this evening. The Statement of District Needs goes to city agencies and the Office of Management and Budget for consideration in the upcoming budget cycle. At the same time, it is a political document, so it lets all of our elected officials, city, state, and federal, know what the community's financial budget priorities are. In previous years, we have ranked all of our priorities in a sort of chronological order. This year is a little bit different. If you are familiar with our presentation in years past, instead of ranking things 1 to 50, for expense and capital, we are simply ranking within the agencies themselves. So it's much easier, much less of a fight, but each individual request requests go to a specific agency and the relevant unit at the Office of Management and Budget. So before we get to our next slide, did want to say a thank you specifically to the task force members, Maria, Kevin, Katie, Ella, Shanice, Christine, Leslie, Greg, and Dolores, and a thank you to the committee chairs and committee representatives who helped with the narrative and the priorities. And then a special thank you to our outreach chair, Kevin, who more than doubled this past year's community survey response rate through really like an incredible outreach effort and incredible muscle. So just like a very sincere thank you there. Okay, so with that, we will take a look at our past year's wins. So in 2025, some of the things that we managed to get funding for, either directly from the city or otherwise, include the DeWitt Clinton Park renovation, which is moving forward. So it's not fully completed and won't be for quite some time, but some funding was dedicated there. We also were able to secure funding for Playground Associates for the summer and for special events, Green Thumb staff for the community gardens, new additional equipment funding for Ryan Chelsea Clinton Health Center, funding for a tech migration at the Department of Buildings to a new system, and then some capital funding for Hartley House. For sanitation, we have gotten a number of better bins installed within the community district. And we have also seen the creation of a Manhattan Cruise Terminal Community Fund in which a certain amount of funding is earmarked from each individual cruise terminal passenger for use by the community. That has not been put into practice or dispersed in any way, but it's a win and something that I think we've been advocating for quite some time. So our top issues for fiscal year 2027, and this is coming from our survey, but also from our task force and conversations we've had over the past couple of months, include crime and public safety, affordable housing, and then quality of life and environment. Some of the trends that we discuss in the narrative include Our desire to mitigate various adverse impacts that are stemming from new infrastructure and major rezonings, improving street life conditions, enforcing against illegal cannabis sales, trash overflow and illegal trash dumping, air quality, and then car and micromobility safety. And finally, just various financial and security threats from the federal government. We, outside of the narrative, have our budget requests. We'll start with the capital requests. Capital requests are the long-term investments, durable items, and the way that they're organized here is the top request for each agency. So just going very quickly through that, for education, we have supporting PS 33 during the first phase of NYCHA Fulton Elliott Chelsea redevelopment. For health and mental hygiene, we have needs that Ryan Chelsea Clinton Health Center has. For the Department of Transportation, there are improvements like sidewalk widening and neck downs on 9th Avenue between 51st and West 34th. For parks, we have additional funding for capital improvements at Dewitt Clinton Park. For the Economic Development Corporation, to expeditiously complete shore power at the Manhattan Cruise Terminal. For HPD or housing, to fund some of the multifamily affordable housing programs, specifically for families and seniors. At NYCHA, to complete the Fulton and Elliott Chelsea interim repairs. For the Transit Authority, a new 7-train station at West 41st and 10th. And for the Office of Management and Budget, to match the FY 2026 state funding committed for Pier 76 redevelopment. We can move to expense. So we have more expense requests. Expense are your sort of day-to-day costs, staff salaries, and other very operational appropriations. So for cultural affairs, we have supporting a variety of local cultural organizations. For city planning, this is a new one, to fund a study of the cumulative impacts of ULURP approvals since 2021. For the Department for Aging, to increase home meal delivery capacity. For homeless services, we have expanding street outreach. For the Department of Buildings, we have adding a demolition restriction checkbox to the digital permit applications. For education, we have expanding pre-K and 3K seats. For health and mental hygiene, we have funding of STI, HIV, and AIDS information, prevention, and treatment. For DOT, we have the full implementation of the 34th Street busway. For parks, we have additional parks enforcement patrol officers. For sanitation, we have an additional gap truck so that you can have an additional corner basket pickup throughout the day. For youth and community development, there's additional funding for after-school programs. And then we continue the list in the next slide. For the fire department, we have an expansion of the Be Heard pilot to address 911 mental health calls within this district. For health and hospitals, funding to supplement losses from community health centers and other organizations that are providing gender-affirming care. For HRA, we have expanding planning for residents transitioning from shelters to permanent housing. For landmarks, we have increasing the staffing to reduce the landmarks designation case backlog. For the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, we have renewing and updating the study of small theaters. For NYCHA, we have filling vacant elevator staffing positions such that elevator improvements and repairs can be completed. For the NYPD, we have hiring additional officers to increase foot patrols. For the Office of Management and Budget, we have providing dedicated funding for cannabis enforcement. And for the Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice, we have increased funding for the Midtown Community Justice Center. So those are just a very brief run through of our top capital and expense. There are more details in the list. If you'd like further details, if you have questions, we can always answer those. but we can move on to the community feedback, the survey. So in the survey this year, we received 564 responses that asked people who live, work, or have another significant interest in the district to identify their top 3 funding priorities. The top 3 priorities were very similar to last year, even with many, many fewer responses, and they were public safety, affordable housing, and quality of life. There were dozens and dozens of suggestions of how to things that we could do to address these issues, and I would definitely encourage committee chairs and committees to dig into some of those as potential things to consider at the individual committee level in the future. Some of those ideas included additional NYPD foot patrols, affordable housing, increased services for social services, improved pedestrian safety infrastructure, and traffic and bike enforcement, increased corner basket pickup and trash pickup, noise mitigation and enforcement on the like both construction and traffic noise areas. We also, thanks to Ella, dove into the 311 top complaints, where we saw that noise and homelessness were really far and away the biggest buckets of complaints within the district. And I think that what we put together here in the district needs narrative and our budget items ultimately reflects that. So we're doing well in terms of how well we are informed by both the community, by our committees, and by the public data that is available. So without further ado, the breakdown of the survey responses. So you can see here, and we can obviously provide this in a more like in a printable format if you'd like to look at it more closely, but you do see that so just for, I guess, context, the first is blue, the second is orange, and third is gray. The crime and public safety is number 1, followed pretty closely by affordable housing and land use, and then quality of life, trash removal and cleanliness, social services, and traffic and street conditions. And then you kind of have a drop off there. So you can kind of see where people were identifying their top priorities in the survey, in the responses that we received. And that really drove the narrative and how we decided to prioritize everything here. And so just like, I guess, just to recap, this year, it's pretty similar to last year. Some of the changes include looking specifically at mitigations to some of the adverse impacts from the recent ULURPs and infrastructure projects, ensuring that those actually get implemented. And then we have new challenges, both funding and otherwise, from the federal government that ultimately will need to be addressed. But otherwise, very, very similar to years past. And hopefully, we can take the recommendations that we put here tonight, move them forward, and that they can inform the upcoming budget process for fiscal year 2027. Happy to take any questions if there are any. I think we have one.
Thank you. I just am curious, given how much conversation we have around environmental issues, why that wasn't a category on the survey.
I think it's a reasonable question. I think that part of the answer is that it kind of falls within some other categories. I'm now looking at what they are, but you could see how the flooding, infrastructure, and resiliency pieces might fall into there. The quality of life and air quality specifically falls into there. And if you are reading the narrative, you'll see some of our concerns about air quality as well as infrastructure and flooding. Parks and open spaces its own. So I think that the way that we have traditionally divided the survey responses doesn't create an independent environmental category for priority, but that environment is sort of divided or prioritized among different items and then brought up in the narrative in its own way. What I will say is we'll have another process again next year, and there is always the opportunity to think about how we might recategorize these it can be helpful to keep the categories because then you have year over year continuity. But there's no reason we can't kind of look at things in a new way if it is something we want to do in the future. And yes, join the budget task force. It'll be fun. If there are no additional questions or comments, just a note that we will be voting on this this evening, and that includes advancing the narrative that is in the Dropbox, as well as the list of budget items. My apologies. So if anyone online has a question or comment, could you please raise your hand? I think we're good. Thank you, guys. Okay, yes. We will now open the public hearing on the statement of district needs for fiscal year 2027. Do we have anyone signed up for it? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
You're right. So no one signed up for the hearing in advance. To our knowledge, I think there might have been a couple people, but I think that they were signed up incorrectly and they want to speak at the public session. So if anybody who's in the room right now or online would like to speak regarding the statement of district needs for fiscal year 27 and budget requests, please raise their hand now. All right. I would
think that's probably because it was a perfect narrative and list of budget items.
With that, let's give Roberta a round of applause. It is really a tremendous amount of work. I hope everyone did actually look at the document. We will be voting on it later this evening as a new business item. It is quite lengthy. It is very detailed. It is a reflection of all of your committee's work. So as Roberta said, thank you to the chairs for leading that discussion, but really kudos to Roberta for doing the heavy lifting. Having done it myself before, I know just how much work it is. With that, we're now going to turn it to our public session. If you're on Zoom, and planning to speak, now is the time to raise your hand, a yellow hand, and I'll invite our first vice chair, Leslie Boghosian Murphy, to lead us. Yeah, death trap there.
It looks like we have a short public session. There are 4 people signed up. Oh, and then Paul Devlin gave me the other list. Jesse, can you give me that list? But why don't we start with, let's see. I'm going to just list the ones that signed up and see if they're online. Is that okay? Paul? Yeah, why not? Paul Fogarty? Sure. And then next would be Scott Lynn. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Ann Casper. And then Savisa Gardner. Those are the 4 that signed up previously. Great. Hey, Paul, can you hear me in the room?
On there. Yes, I can hear you. There you go.
Oh, great. Okay, your 2 minutes starts now.
I was just on the meeting back in September and October, representing 742 for the application for the license. I'm not too sure if we got the right conversation going here.
So, yeah, no, I see it says here you want to talk about, you mean the BLP application?
No, it's a liquor license.
Yeah.
It's exactly for Pride.
Yeah, no, you can talk. This is your time to talk about that. If that's what you wish to talk about, that's now.
Yeah, just if any questions, I mean, I've done this a good few times. The last where we left off was the neighbor next door, Alan. He's the owner of the building. We met with him about 2 weeks ago, and it's the same result as the building across the street with Bobby. They're fine with us moving forward. We show them basically what we're going to do with soundproofing. the layout, and obviously we're not anything like the bar or restaurant that was there before. So we actually did send an email in yesterday. I'm not too sure if Frank, the attorney, got over to you guys at all. But we also spoke to the restaurant on the other side. That's the French restaurant. We spoke to him a while back, and the pasta restaurant on the other side. They're all happy and wish us the best.
Great. Thank you so much, Paul.
No problem.
Scott, can you hear me online?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay,
Your 2
great.
minutes starts now. Thank you.
Thanks. So this is my first time, so I'm just going to read my notes. I have comments about 2 of the BLP letters about the open dining program, and also some comments about one of the transportation letters. I'm gonna do this as fast as I can. So letter 19, this is the open dining letter about enforcement. Currently, that letter only references sidewalk cafes. I think it should be expanded to encompass roadway cafes also. So there are 2 places on line 15 and 19 to add references to roadway cafes in addition to sidewalk cafes. Okay. Second, letter 18, working a little bit backwards. This is the other open dining letter about clear paths and daylighting. So currently that letter only references intro 1421, which is Councilmember Ressler's intro. However, I think there's another intro 1421 and 14, sorry. The other intro is 1444, which is by Councilmember Powers that deals with clear paths for sidewalk cafes. I think both of those need to be referenced in the letter. This would involve revising the ray line and also the first line in line 13. And then also in the 4th paragraph, which begins on line 23, that should be revised to clarify that it's referring to intro 1444. And the 5th paragraph, which begins on line 33, should be revised to clarify that it refers to intro 1421. Maybe also in the 5th paragraph, you guys would like to add something about the proposed maximum 8-foot clear path, which is sort of a new thing, new to me anyway. They seem to want it to apply across the board. That's very tight, I think, for pedestrians. I think it should be at least 10 feet, but that's just my opinion. And probably most substantially, I would request that you all delete the 2nd paragraph, beginning on line 17 altogether. That's the broad general statement of support in favor of expanding to year-round operation of roadway cafes. Even though the BLP is one of my favorite committees to listen to, there wasn't any public, any advance notice given to the public about
Thank you,
this.
Scott.
All right, sorry.
No, it's okay. And everyone in the room is impressed that you read our letters so detailed. And that's a compliment. It's a compliment. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is Ann Casper? She's not. Okay. Or Gardner. So these, yes. And then Pamela Wolf will be next. Savasa, is that how, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Gardner, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. My name is Savasia.
Savasia, nice to hear from you. Your 2 minutes starts now.
Okay, thank you. I won't take too long, but so good evening. My name is Savasia Gardner. I'm a resident in the Chelsea Elliott houses. And I just wanted to say that the majority of us residents in the Chelsea Elliott houses are opposed to the demolition in regards to the NYCHA demolition. NYCHA has not received federal approval to move forward with the demolition, yet there are residents in both Fulton and Chelsea who are being pressured to sign Section 8 leases. So I just wanted to let everybody know that us residents in Elliott, Chelsea, as well as in Fulton, are not fully on board for demolition, and it has not officially been approved. So any residents who are being coerced to sign leases do not have to sign leases, as it is not officially approved by the city. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Pamela, I saw you pop up. Can you hear me here in the room?
I sure can. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Thanks. This has to do with an item on the transportation committee. Miss, it's item 22. It has to do with water main replacement. At line 28, there's a reference to refraining from nighttime work at certain times in certain areas. I would love to have that sentence revised to state that there should not be any nighttime work on the residential crosstown streets between 7th Avenue and 9th Avenues. Actually, 6th Avenue to 8th Avenue. I know we don't have 6th Avenue, but those there are crosstown streets that are designated for water main replacement, as well as the main route going down 7th Avenue. Another comment on that letter, it makes a reference to sidewalk widening. I want to bring out something that nobody here in this audience probably has any recollection about. But in the 1960s, early 60s, when Robert Moses designated 21st Street as a trucking thoroughfare to lead to the West Side Highway, without any warning to the community, the sidewalks were chopped on the blocks from 7th Avenue on going west by 3 feet on either side. The sidewalks were removed and given over to the streets to make room for the trucks. When the West Side Highway came to a demise, that need no longer existed, and in some of the blocks further west, the sidewalks were restored, but not this one, not from 7th to 8th Avenues. Can we put a request that be considered that this block from 21st Street between 7th and 8th Avenues should have its sidewalk restored after all these decades? Thank you.
Pamela. Thank you. I think that's it for online. Right, Jesse? Okay, now we'll go in the room. Why don't we start? Is Katie Stokes here? Katie, why don't you come up, and then Jesse? Don't you want? Okay, why don't you come up, and then Maria, we'll start with the board first. You're on here too, right, Maria? Gotcha.
Hi. So I'm just here because I love New York City today, and I was thinking about running out and giving hugs to everybody, and I thought that'd be kind of creepy, so I thought I should just speak publicly instead. I think that New York City, the people are so amazing, and to see everybody turn out for the marathon on Sunday and cheer wildly for people they don't know is like one of the most heartwarming things you can do. So if no one has ever done it before, you should definitely go to the marathon. And then frankly, far more importantly, the fact that we way more than doubled the turnout for this election compared to the last mayoral election is just so awesome. And especially with all the young people who turned out, it just is so heartwarming, and that it's such a big tent. And so anyway, I'm just feeling such love for our community today. I wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. As Jessica reminded me, that the board members are speaking in their personal capacity.
Yes. Also, speaking in my personal capacity, hi, I'm Jesse Greenwald. I think if we look around the country, we see what the federal administration is doing in terms of sending ICE into the various cities. And I think, I don't think anyone would be surprised for ICE to show up in force here in the coming months. So there are several groups working on preparing different neighborhoods and different communities about what to do when ICE arrives. I know Rachel Lee actually did a training a few months back, but I am organizing a canvas with several groups to go into as many small businesses as we can in Chelsea and Hell's Kitchen to start preparing the managers and employees for what to do when ICE arrives. And we're going to be bringing in signs that say employees only for certain areas, so that there will be certain areas that ICE cannot go into without a warrant. And so that will be on November 22nd. I would love for as many people to come as possible. I will send out materials. Obviously, come up and let me know if you're interested. Also, could use a little bit of help of organizing it if anyone actually wants to get really involved. I should read out the list of names of organizations that I'll be working with. It will be Neighbors United for Immigrant Safety, Chelsea Neighbors United, Hands Off NYC, and Indivisible Harlem. And then just also because I promised I would let you guys know, the Chelsea Neighbors United is also doing a separate training and canvas. There'll be there's a day of action coming up on November 15th, and so they'll be out canvassing on the street corners, handing out pamphlets about what to do if ICE arrives. So if anyone's interested in that, I have more information on that I'm happy to give you. And I see a question. Yes. No, we can't do questions. Can't do questions. Sorry, not allowed to do questions. We'll talk after. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Maria, you're up.
I need applause too, though. Thank you. So I just came up to remind everyone about the annual CB4 coat drive we're having. It is this Saturday from 10 to 4 at Metro Baptist Church. Between 10 and 12, we collect gently used and new coats, any sizes. It's for people who live in the district and shelter. And then from 1 to 4, people come and pick up the coats. And it would be great if anyone is available to donate some of your time, maybe 2 hours, 1 hour the least, it would be great. And let me think, anything else? If you have any questions, you email me or Jesse and we'll get back to you, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, there's our pause. I see Lisa's here. Lisa, do you want to come up? And also I'm just going to say some names just in case. Lydia? Oh, great. Okay, you'll come next then.
You might need an extra 10 seconds.
What?
Okay, for it. Hello, I'm Lisa Wager, Director of Government Community Relations at the Fashion Institute of Technology, the SUNY College on West 27th Street with the Res Hall on 31st, just west of 9th in the district. I'm here with an FIT update. So in the spirit of the big change that we're feeling in New York City, we had 2 big announcements on campus this month. 2 weeks ago, we held the ribbon cutting on 28th Street for the new Joyce F. Brown Academic Building, our first new academic building in nearly 50 years. Thank you. It was a long time coming. Designed by Shop Architects, the 10-story building features a striking glass facade with a rotating exhibition of student work in the first floor vitrines and views down into the 2-story knitting lab, the largest campus knitting lab in the U.S. There are 26 energy-efficient classrooms and studios, administrative offices, and FIT's first dedicated student center space. The projected LEED Gold certification reflects FIT's commitment to environmental stewardship. The project was funded by New York State, New York City, and a distinguished roster of individuals and corporate sponsors, supporters, in a shared commitment to strengthening public higher education and supporting the next generation of talent for the fashion and creative industries. And we and the students are very grateful. Last week, now you may remember that President Brown announced last year that would be her final year and she was stepping down after 27 years. It took a little longer to find someone to step into those fabulous shoes. And last week, the FIT Board of Trustees announced the next president will be Jason S. Schuback. Mr. Schuback currently serves as the Dean of Drexel University's Westphal College of Media Arts and Design, and he will step into the role on January 15th, and I'll tell you his very wonderful biography in January. The museum at FIT's 34th Symposium, Fashion and Psychoanalysis, will be held on Friday, November 14th from 10 to 4. The symposium relates to the exhibition Dress, Dreams, and Desire, Fashion and Psychoanalysis. Certainly, fashion designers speak the language of psychoanalysis, and like analysts, designers often focus on sexuality and the unconscious. Speakers include fashion designer Bella Freud, yes, that Freud, fashion scholar Simona Serge, Emmy-nominated actress Laverne Cox, internationally lauded MFIT director Valerie Steele, and several prominent psychoanalysts. There's more information on the website, Fashion and Psychoanalysis Symposium. It's free and open to the public, but you need to register. It's going to be really cool.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Lydia, would you like to come up? And then we have Terry and Eric.
Hi, I'm Lydia Andre. I'm speaking as a member of the Chelsea Public Housing Coalition. I'm here to ask the community board to help the NYCHA residents with some accountability. Right now, the special PAC conversion of a handful of buildings, which was not disclosed as part of the original plan, is taking place. And tenants are feeling tremendous consternation and fear because despite what you might think, Related and their lawyers Convergent have not done a good job of explaining to tenants what is happening. They are feeling coerced. They're being told they will lose their subsidies and have to pay market rate, which legally, technically has a great deal of truth to it. But there is a real fear and panic on the campus. And we believe the community board has a role to play in making sure that better communication happens and getting the electeds involved. Remember, this came out of the blue. I don't think you all knew about it months ago, and this is causing a real problem. At the same time, and let me remind you that the PAC conversion works where tenants sign a Section 8 lease and get a renovated apartment. These tenants aren't getting that. They have to wait 2, 3, 4 years until the buildings are demolished and rebuilt. So they have a real, comprehension, misunderstanding, and fear about what is going on. At the same time, seniors in the senior building are experiencing coercion. We had an incident recently where an elderly senior's family member was brought in, non-custodial family member, and he was signing something and he wanted her to sign something. Tenant activists showed up, the police were called, and the 10th precinct erroneously and inappropriately said to the tenant who wanted to stay in her apartment, "Oh, the building's been sold, you have to leave." We ask you to please talk to the 10th precinct and remind them there have been no eviction notices, nothing has happened, no tenant currently has to leave at this moment in time. And this kind of harassment and coercion is going on every day, and we could really use help in oversight and accountability for what is happening on that campus. And I really hope you can help us. Thank you.
Next, we have Terry and then Eric. And then Leanna. We'll do the libraries together as a pair.
Thank you. Hello there. My name is Terry Taff. I'm from the Adoptive and Foster Family Coalition of New York. We have been around for about 50 years helping families who take in kids, basically, adoption or foster care, or grandparents raising grandkids, or uncles and aunts raising uncles and aunts, or nieces and nephews. And recently, in the last year or so, we've moved into New York City. We never were in New York City. We are now offering services, free services of support, education, and advocacy for families who have taken in kids. It's a little bit different raising kids that you did not give birth to than it is raising kids that you gave birth to. And we've learned a real bunch about how it is to help kids who have been traumatized by variety. You could get into some really sad stories, and I'm not going to, because we've got a good news that there's a lot of families who are helping kids who have been beat up get through the beat upness, if I can make up a word. And anyway, so we're wandering around to the various community boards and saying hello and introducing ourselves. That's the Adoptive and Foster Family Coalition of New York. And if I may, I'm going to give a brochure to the chair and say thank you. And I'll put some brochures on the table out there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we can always follow up with you too if you want to go to committee. We can do that. Yes, absolutely. Libraries. Libraries, you're up. Hi, Eric.
How you doing today? How are you? Good, good. Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Eric Sosa, representing the Muhlenberg Library. I'm just here to let you guys know all the events we'll be having upcoming for the rest of the year. Just to let you guys know, we have a social work intern at our site, Mondays and Tuesdays from 10 to 6 p.m. If anyone needs help finding resources in the community, just come right in and our social work intern will help you find those. We also have ESOL classes. Registration will be starting this Saturday, November 8th at 11 a.m. The classes will be running through the whole winter, and we're all looking forward to it. We also will be having after-school homework help which will be starting January 2026. That will be running all the way through June. With this program, the homework help will be provided Monday through Thursdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Everybody is more than welcome to come in. You don't have to sign up for it. And like you guys know, everything is free at the library. And last but not least, we have an intro to collage program for our senior patrons. This event kicked off last week, Friday. It will be running through the rest of the year. There's still space available, and if anyone is interested, you can either stop by the branch or give us a call to sign up. And if anyone needs anything from our libraries, feel free to reach out. I'm Eric Sosa, the branch manager at Muhlenberg. You can either drop in or give us a call, and I can help you with anything I can. I hope everybody has a great night. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, good evening. My name is Leanna Spooner, and I'm the manager at Columbus Library. And we have a lot of similar programs, so that's great. So like Columbus and Muhlenberg have a lot of similar programs. So we do story time every Tuesday and Friday. We have activities for children. We do crafts on Wednesdays. We also have a social work intern. She's there from Mondays through Saturdays. So ours is there from Mondays through Thursdays from 5 to 7. She's there 3 to 5 on Fridays, and she's there from 12 to 5 on Saturdays. We also have an ESL program. We have that every Wednesday at 10 a.m. We also have an after-school program, and that's Mondays through Thursdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Also, every second and fourth Saturday, we have a writer's circle, and every third Saturday, we have a hard book club. So please feel free to drop in. And if you have any questions, you can always come see me. Like I said, my name is Leanna Spooner, and I'm the manager, and I would love to see you guys at Columbus Library. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think that's it. There's no one else online, right, Jesse? That's it. Okay, here. Oh, no. False alarm. We're putting someone over, you said, or yeah. Who is it? Carla?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Carla, we can hear you. Your 2 minutes starts now.
All right, thank you so much. So my name is Carla Rousseau. I'm proud to represent Ryan Chelsea Clinton Community Health Center, a place where care goes beyond the exam rooms. So at RCC, just would like to, that's the short end for Ryan Chelsea Clinton. I just would like to share, we are a community health center. We do have various community partners, and we offer primary care to underserved communities in the Manhattan area. So if you have any questions, I'm the point of contact. You can always email me. I'm gonna drop my email in the chat. My name is Carla Russos at ryanhealth.org. That's my email. First name, last name. And even though we have challenging times with the government shutdown, we keep remaining strong in the community. We partner with Hunger Free America to offer SNAP enrollment recertifications on site at the health center. So every Wednesdays. And also we do every day of the week, we do partner with health insurance companies that come in and sign up also patients or anyone in the community for Medicaid and Medicare. So yes, we are here in the community on 10th Avenue and 46th Street in the Hell's Kitchen area. So please share with me any questions you may have, and I'm happy to share with you. Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Carla. And here ends the public session. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. We are moving on to, you all have a copy of the agenda. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda? Thank you, Kevin. Second. Thank you, Roberta. All in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Rodney, you're not opposed, are you? Okay, great. Thank you. And for the minutes, thank you again to Katie Stokes and Rachel Lee for the minutes. Can we get a motion to adopt the minutes? Thank you. Second over here. Thank you. Josephine, all in favor? Thank you. Any
Aye.
opposed? Great. As we do, we now invite representatives, our elected officials. Many of you know this week is SOMOS, which is a conference in Puerto Rico. I suspect many of the principals are there now, but we'll invite the three representatives in the room to come on up. We'll ask that you guys make it brief. We know you hopefully are still on a post-election high, but Mackie, we'll start with you on behalf of Congressman Nadler, and then Quentin will go to you, and then Ben. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So as you all know, we are entering week 5 of the federal government shutdown. As these challenges we face under the Trump administration continue to grow, Congressman Nadler remains committed to reaching a bipartisan agreement to reopen the government, lower healthcare costs, and protect the well-being of American families, including protecting benefits like SNAP benefits. Just, during these uncertain times, to stay informed as all these events continue to happen, please follow the Congressman for the most up-to-date info on Twitter, Facebook, Blue Sky, or follow him on his newsletter, which you can subscribe to on the website. In other updates, Congressman Nadler, along with New York's entire Democratic congressional delegation, sent a letter to President Trump and the U.S. Department of Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins, urging them to ensure that SNAP recipients in New York State and across the nation receive their November benefits without delay. He is continuing to push on such and will continue to do so. And then finally, we just want to make sure, in light of that you all have access to the latest information and resources regarding not only SNAP benefits, but the government shutdown and federal services and how these developments may affect your daily life. For the most up-to-date, what's happening at each agency and how that may affect you, we have a comprehensive resource list on our website, which is www.nadler.house.gov. And if you also have any questions, feel free to stop me after the meeting, and I'm more than happy to help. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Quentin, you want to come on up?
Hey, everybody. First off, as mentioned, Eric is at Somos, but we're actually still trying to get him to beam in. Might be a little bit later, so I'm not going to say everything, not going to steal his thunder, because I do hope we'll be able to get him to join us a little closer to the end. But we'll want to highlight one pretty exciting thing, a bill requiring labels in gun shops similar to cigarette labels, basically warning about the effects of guns, the damage they cause, the danger behind them. Obviously, a bunch of years ago, with the Supreme Court weakening New York's gun laws that do a great job of keeping it safe, we've had to get creative about, what can we do to deal with the impact of guns? And that's something we've been able to do, and that passed, and we're really excited to see that come into being. Other details, I'm seeing about getting Eric to join us and talk through some other things, but if for whatever reason he isn't able to make it, that is definitely something I want to make sure everybody's aware of, because something that we're really excited about. So thanks so much.
You, Ben? And then we'll go to Yiyi online.
Hi, can you hear me?
Sorry, we're doing the room first. You'll be after Ben.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I wanted to mention that back in September, Assemblymember Simone was arrested alongside colleagues of his in the state legislature at 26 Federal Plaza for attempting to inspect the detention center in the building, which a judge had declared was inhumane, the detention center. Assemblymember Simone was and will always be proud to stand by his fellow Americans who are being unlawfully detained and deported due to fascist orders from our federal government. He's grateful for the support that he and immigrants have been receiving from our district and encourages everyone to do what they can to fight back. I mentioned during my last report that Assemblymember Simone has introduced the MELT Act, which would ban law enforcement from wearing masks. Now more than ever, does our state, city, and community need to stand up to fascism in all ways that we can. Also wanted to give the Assembly members comments on the rejection of the casino proposals that happened in September. He was glad that the committees voted in line with the community, which has been overwhelmingly opposed to these proposals from the beginning, and thanks everybody who reached out to the committees and our office to make your voices heard on this issue. We have a few events coming up. Please check our social media for the exact details, but a low-cost flu shot clinic with Councilmember Eric Botcher, a winter coat drive, and a mobile adoption event with Assemblymember Linda Rosenthal. So if you're interested, please check our social media. Thank you.
Thank you. Yiyi, we'll turn it to you.
Awesome. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. As Jessica mentioned, Mark is in Somos right now, so he's not going to be able to make tonight's meeting, so I'm going to do the report instead. First of all, thank you to all of our community board members that participated in the leadership training series. We were happy to provide trainings on items like using topography and open data as a tool for boards and learning how to navigate the DOB and HPD portal to understand building information. And as we approach board term limits, we held a training on archiving resolutions and board documents to make sure that the institutional knowledge gets transferred from all of you to the next generations of board members. If you missed any of these trainings, we will have those trainings available on our YouTube channels shortly. And you can also find previous trainings such as housing financing, land use 101, and building new leadership on this channel as well. As we all know, we are still in a federal shutdown, and this means that federal employees continue to work without pay, while SNAP benefits, which provide food assistance to hundreds of thousands of households here in New York City, are still being withheld. So if you or someone you know is looking for food assistance, please visit the Food Bank of New York's Food Map Finder to find the nearest location for support. That'll be the end of my report. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take.
Thank you, Yiyi. That will conclude our reports from the offices of elected officials.
Sorry, Jessica, I have one more thing that I want to update.
Go ahead.
Okay. Not last but not least, so the borough president recently provided testimony at an important hearing on right to counsel, which VP Levine was proud to introduce and successfully pass into law in his time in the city council, making New York City the first municipality in the nation to provide a lawyer to households facing eviction in housing court. The hearing provided VP Levine a platform to provide recommendations on how to increase the percentage of cases receiving representation. That's
Thank
the
you.
end.
And okay, great. Thank you. So now that concludes our report from elected officials. We're now going to turn it to Alice Wong, who's been chairing our nominating committee. For those in the room, I noticed that my tent card no longer stands, which I guess means it's time for a new chair. So with that, Alice, if you can join us and give us an update on the nominating committee.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
We can.
Great. Good evening, everyone. I apologize for having to zoom in, and I do apologize in advance if there's any background noise. I'm currently on holiday and I'm by the pool. It's the only place I could find with free Wi-Fi. I want to thank the 2025 nomination committee, Greg, Carrie, Rodney, and Tina for their time. The committee met with candidates on October 22nd to review their qualifications for the role which they applied for. Thank you for your time in meeting with the committee and your thoughtful responses. The committee has determined the following individuals are qualified in alpha order to move forward with their candidacy. Chair, Leslie Murphy. First Vice Chair, Josephine Isfong and Katie Strokes. Second Vice Chair, Jesse Greenwald and Rachel Lee. Co-recording Secretary, Kevin Collins. In a moment, I will ask if there are any additional nominations from the floor. All CB4 members are encouraged to view the interview answers on our YouTube channel. If there are any vacant positions still open after the election, the The incoming chair can appoint someone to fill the role at a later time. Elections will be held on Wednesday, December 3rd at the top of our full board meeting. CB4 members can vote via paper or online ballot. Results of the election will be announced after board business has concluded. For those interested in being nominated today, your nomination must be seconded by another CB4 member. You will have an opportunity at the December 3rd meeting to answer questions that were asked of the candidates during the nomination committee meeting. The chair will randomly choose a question and you will have 3 minutes to respond. At the discretion of the chair, open discussions of additional nominations may occur with the entire board to seek if a vote is needed for the additional nominations. If so, we will move to a vote. Otherwise, the chair can determine the eligibility of the additional nominations. At this time, are there any additional nominations from the floor for any of the roles? Chair, first vice chair, second vice chair, or co-recording secretary?
I'm not seeing any in the room and no hands online.
Seeing none, thank you to all the candidates for stepping up to represent CB4. I will see everyone at the December meeting for our elections.
Thank you. Thank you, Alice. And thank you again to the committee for your work. And for all those who considered or did apply, really excited for to see such robust participation. With that, I'll turn it to the district manager, Jesse Bodine, for his report.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jesse Bodine, District Manager. I'll be very brief. CB4 office remains remote with the goal of being in our new space in January. November committee updates. The Business License and Permits Committee will be meeting on Tuesday, November 18th at 6:30 at the Hotel Trades Council, which is at 305 West 44th Street. That is a different location than it normally is. So please, members of that committee, take note of what I am saying. Do not show up at 353 West 30th Street because the room is being used by another group. Nearly all of the committee and full board dates are up on the 2026 calendar on our website. So for all of you who would like to plan way in advance, please take a look. You can see what that will be. There will always be those variants due to holidays and things like that. And that's it.
Thank you, Jesse. For the chair report, I'll be pretty brief this evening. I just wanted to tag on that while a judge, as you heard, has ruled that SNAP benefits for November must be funded, they are obviously severely delayed, putting many families at risk. And we have many high-quality food pantries in our neighborhood. But if you aren't sure, as he said, where to go, you can call 311, go to the food bank, or visit plentifulapp.com. We're also going to be updating, putting information on our website for people who may be looking for information. There are a lot of resources out there. I would also encourage, if you are concerned about this issue, to advocate to your local elected officials, expressing your concern. But we are going to be compiling resources. If you've seen any that you think are worth us highlighting, please feel free to share them with me as we prepare to do that. I also wanted to flag a particular program that has sort of flown under the radar, which is interest-free loans for federal workers who are low and moderate income. So if you know people who are employed by the federal government who are not getting paychecks and are low and moderate income, they can qualify for interest-free, zero interest, for up to $7,500 and only have to begin repayment 4 to 6 weeks after the shutdown and repayment to them ends. So it's really an excellent program and it is currently undersubscribed. You can learn about it through hfls.org, which stands for Hebrew Free Loan Society. Anyone is eligible if you're a federal worker, and again, would encourage, if you know people who could benefit or find pipelines where that can be shared, it is currently undersubscribed. I also wanted to mention that folks know that at past meetings during the public session and at the HHS committee, we've heard from issues from some CHDC tenants. Tenants wrote a letter to electeds in May with a CC to CB4. I believe we shared that letter. CHDC recently drafted a response to the letter, which we have placed in the HHS Dropbox as well as tonight's Dropbox. So that is available for anyone to review if they are interested. We heard about the coat drive and really encourage folks to show up, to donate coats, and to do what you can. And with that, I will turn it over to Frank representing BLP.
Hi, everybody. BLP has two atypical letters, items 18 and 19, that do not relate to a specific applicant. So before we get to those, I want to see if there are any questions about the regular letters for particular licenses. Those are items 1 through 17. Okay. And I wanted to thank Christine Berthet for drafting the letters on items 18 and 19, and she's going to speak to those now.
Is it good?
Right.
Yes. So letter 18, since we wrote this letter and voted it at BLP, there was a new intervention, which one of the member mentioned, and that new introduction proposed to reduce the sidewalk space to 8 feet for every avenue. So, you know, some of the avenue are for a minimum of 10 feet, and some of the avenues are for a minimum of 12 feet, and they are all, it's for open dining, sidewalk cafe. And they are all based on the congestion on the sidewalk. So there are only 3% of the sidewalks which are subject to the 10-foot and 12-foot line. So we are very concerned that the industry is really pushing aggressively to get back to the way it was before this program was announced. And we wanted to modify the letter to, first of all, say that the first paragraph where we support is subject to the inclusion of the other items, and then add a whole paragraph about the fact that we are not supporting and we are opposing very strongly returning to 8 feet, especially on avenue like, you know, 8th Avenue, 5th Avenue, where you have so many. So this would be the amendments that you have not seen in this letter that we are proposing to do. So that's that. Yes, JD.
Thank you. Christine, the gentleman who was online who actually read the letters, he was about to finish when he talked about the expansion of another 3 months of these roads.
Yes.
And he was
okay.
when he was
Okay.
unceremoniously cut off by the first vice chair. I'm very curious what he was going to say. It sounded like he was going to say that this was not adequately discussed at the committee meeting. Could you explain that? Because that's a concern, expanding 3 months.
Right.
For some of us in Hell's Kitchen, you know, we'd like a little respite. So could you expand on that, please?
So first of all, from a procedural standpoint, that subject was raised as a new business. So that's true that it was not announced, you know, on the agenda. And it was raised because as a new business, because there is a hearing on this item on the 16th. Okay. And we felt that we needed to have a position, or at least consult with a member of the committee to get to a level of comfort, right? The extension to 12 months from 9 months, it's a very interesting subject. With the 9 months, today, with the 9 months, the roadway installation have to repack all their installation at the end of 9 months and store them somewhere. So it's really very expensive, very difficult, and it is really giving an advantage to the very large operations which are very well funded. If you are a small shop, right, you don't have enough space. If you want to to really install a roadway cafe, it would be too expensive for you. The second point I would make is that as they are not using the roadway because it's too expensive, then there is tremendous pressure, and we have seen that as we have approved on the cafe, on the sidewalk cafe, to get more space. So it's kind of go together. They are saying, we don't have enough space, let's put more things on the sidewalk. And I mean, the BLP has to spend hours working on surveying the sidewalk, figuring whether they fit together, and then pushing back on DOT and that. So my view is, if we want to say the pedestrians are, you know, the sidewalk space is the most important, you know, it would be probably a good idea to let the people to be in the roadway so that we have less pressure.
Understood, Christine. So a follow-up. So in the roadway, if they leave them for 3 months, these sheds, whatever they are, in the wintertime, are they used? Or are they just sitting there for 3 months?
We don't know. They are.
That's a concern, because
Okay.
if they're just sitting there, they're going to get graffiti, they're going to get people.
Okay, so we could put, you know, an amendment there saying only if they are used, and if they are not used for, you know, 1 month or whatever, then they have to be removed.
Gotcha.
And we could probably do that. I mean, what do you think, right? Yeah.
Thanks, Christine. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll go to Leslie and then we'll go down the line. That's
That it-
endorsed year round.
Yeah. So that, I think that was when they,
Yeah, give a context on what you're going to say.
started, I just said 2 words. Hold on. I think when this has been long-standing discussion on outdoor dining, and I thought there was a lot of community input and council member input and everything, and I thought after all this working group, whatever it was, that they came to the conclusion that 12 months out of the year was not the best because of some of the things that JD kind of highlighted, that a lot of the, unless it was a very, I don't want to say expensive, but if they could afford to keep it up and put the heaters out and all that stuff, it would be good. But most of them, or a lot of them, would be just empty or abandoned in the winter, graffiti, and then people would sleep in there. And I think the compromise that city council had at first, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but the compromise was that they would have it in the warmer months, and then those 3 very cold winter months when they really were, I don't want to say obsolete, but not really in use, that's when they would take it down. So why would we go against that initial? I'm just curious.
Yeah, for the reason I said, I mean, you know, which all the restaurants have said, that, you know, closing for 3 months is not viable, period. And a lot of them. And if opening for 12 months allows us to have more space for pedestrians, I think that would be a good trade-off, let's put it this way. Because the less they have in the roadway, the more pressure they put on the sidewalk to take more space. So that's, you know, and we can discuss that portion of the letter. I'm fine with it.
Okay, because I know, like, Hell's Kitchen Neighborhood Coalition, there were a bunch of neighborhoods that were getting really, like JD said, tight, because, you know, there were people be sleeping in those in the.
No, I mean, I agree that it's not, if it's not used, it should go. It's not used as a restaurant, it should go, and I would be very happy to put that in the letter.
That would be great.
Right?
So, yeah, because we want that sidewalk space clear.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a problem with the extending it to 9 months without any community input whatsoever.
Okay.
There are many reasons why the community was so vocal about having the 3-month respite. It can
they're just going to be, it's harder to clean. No one cleans them. We all know your previous letter asks for enforcement. There is no enforcement. There's none. So you're basically saying, let's have 12 months and hope for the best. We can't do that without community input. We can't just say, it hasn't even been one winter. We don't even know what they're going to do with them. Are they going to keep them clean? The ones that are already up.
Well,
are they
right
gonna
now,
take
they're
them
going to
down?
close them.
Are they going to take them down? Who's going to enforce them taking them down? We've had the problems in the past. In Chelsea, the residents were very concerned about it. Alan Oster and I both, and a number of other residents spent months and months filing 311s and talking with DOT to get the ones that were abandoned taken down. So this could happen again in the winter, and we don't want that. I don't think the residents want that. I don't think we should speak for the whole community without any input. So I would definitely vote no on this.
Okay. Who's next?
I just want to say that there are additional comments, and at any point, someone could make an amendment to the letter if there are other points in the letter that you are comfortable with and think this letter should go forward, notwithstanding the time period. Like, that could be an amendment. Katie?
I can't hear it.
Okay. I agree with the other members who questioned having the outdoor dining be year round, especially considering this is the first year of the program. I think we need to see how it works. I think also the letter really needs to have language included about enforcement, because I think, particularly walking around Hell's Kitchen, there are a lot of restaurants that have sidewalk dining adjacent to their property and then also adjacent to the curb. They have it too far out. They have umbrellas that stick out in like where people are walking. And when it comes to the roadway dining, there are at least 3 restaurants in Hell's Kitchen that have already taken down their outdoor dining setups, and we're not even at the deadline. So I just don't think we want to expand it further until we really see that there's a necessity for it. I understand you have, a temporary program, everyone loves it, but we're like rehashing an old debate that we already thought we put to bed. And
So is
with
that a friendly
should I-
amendment on enforcement? Is that?
Well, we have a second letter on enforcement, and we did put it in the budget, asking for more enforcement, more training of the inspectors, because I do agree.
That point's been addressed, so we're
Right.
still,
Right.
the salient issue here is really around the extension.
Expansion, right.
So let's.
If this is particularly about the legislation, I think there should be verbiage in the legislation that also deals with enforcement.
Well, we can do that.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that.
Great. Dave? Oh, sorry. I
just want to say I am a business owner that has outdoor dining. We did take ours down because we have to. We're never going to see what it's going to look like if we do let it run for 12 months. But the reality is that there's so many businesses that didn't get the opportunity to open outdoor dining because of the pure cost. And it's so much money and so much opportunity for small business owners to make money that's getting taken away because of rebuilding the structures. So just keep that in mind when you say, oh, if it's outside, homeless will be sleeping in it. Most likely not, because the outdoor structures right now can't even have a built-in enclosure on top of them. They can only have like a small thing. So the likelihood of someone homeless sleeping in this outdoor area that has no cover, no shelter is probably 0. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. And actually, they are actually policing it. Maybe you guys don't realize if DOT is coming around or not, but for the structure that I have on 52nd Street, we've been hit with a $1,000 fine because we were waiting for our letter that was in the mail and didn't have it posted, and they hit us like 3 times. So DOT is definitely out there policing, I can promise you that. And if it's sitting out in the roadway and it's not being used for 3 months, and there's nobody homeless sleeping in it, then what does that hurt anybody? It gives these small businesses an opportunity to thrive and to continue. So I would be supporting the letter the way it is.
Thank you. Dave? Oh, sorry. Did you want to respond, Kristen? Okay.
Yeah, I think when the rules were changed, that said that the roadside or the roadway structures had to be taken down once a year. They were stripped down. The construction itself was made much lighter and simpler, and I think part of the motive for saying they needed to be taken down each year was to keep them in the nature of a temporary and lightweight structure, almost like a folding chair as opposed to a permanent park bench. And that's one of the purposes that's served by having them out only for 9 months each year.
Okay, Joe? Just,
So-
my. Dave.
So I want to make an amendment to remove this section because we did do this compromise. We went through the whole thing. It is definitely a small business question of who could afford or not afford, but leaving any sort of structure in the roadway in those 3 months, I truly disagree. People will use them there will be homeless encampments because that's what we saw before. Yes, there were more because there were shelters, but these are areas, and we see people all over the Port Authority land in the north part of Belle Abzug Park. It's totally uncovered and people are encampments. So Christine, in the name of wanting to create more pedestrian space on the sidewalks, we went through a public process, and the only way to talk about this is to go through a public process again and not to support a specific intro because we were very involved as a community in coming up with this compromise of the 9 months and the 3 months. So I'm just saying from just a general process point of view, let's go through, see how it works, and then see what happens, and then have a public meeting or something, or public discussion. So I'd recommend to remove the section supporting the intro for Teen 21.
So I heard you make an amendment. Is there a second? Second from Viren. Okay, so we can have discussion on the amendment. Brad, I saw your hand up. Do you have?
Thank you, Chair. Well, this is public space, and I want to know what the neighborhood benefit is dollar-wise, right? We should be asking if they have one of these, that there's a community fund or a block association gets some money out of this. The reality is they're greatly benefiting. The rent goes up because the business is making more, which is great. I'm all for it. I'm fine with 12 months, a little different than other people. But we are not getting anything out of it besides being able to walk around it. And I think we should be asking for some type of, they pay $200 a year that goes to the, some type of structure where the community's getting some money, actual money, to work in the pits, to add a crossing guard, whatever we decide as a council member. I think that should be added. Thank you.
I don't know that, I mean, he's not making an amendment to the, I actually don't know if we can have. So if it's a comment on the amendment.
So may I? So if to clarify.
We can't hear you, Christine.
I'm sorry, to clarify, I'm hearing that there is an amendment which is not friendly to remove the first paragraph that refers to the extension. Is that what we are all clear about? Joe, is that what you're saying?
But to be very clear, we are removing that section, but noting that we do not support that portion of the bill. It's got to be clear.
So it's being replaced with language that says we do.
No, I don't think, I think that we should just remove that letter.
That's not what I'm proposing.
Yeah, so so let's clarify what you, because maybe your motion wasn't clear.
Got
So
it.
please
Yeah,
go
it
ahead,
was
Joe,
not.
again
So
and clarify.
So having scanned this quickly, I will clarify again that we should remove the second paragraph entirely and instead note that our board does not support the extension, the 12 months a year, because of the compromise, and give the backstory about it.
I'd like, can I make an amendment to that possibly? We are going to say that we are not amending, supporting that until we have a further public hearing.
Yeah, I'm saying we can say we're not supporting that. We're not even supporting that at this time. that we cannot support this now.
No, I heard that, but I say I want to make the condition that we are going to have a public hearing about that.
I think
And
that could be
we may support it in the future.
No, that's not my amendment. No, and I don't want this. I think I've heard on the floor here that there's not a lot of, there's mixed support for this or not some support. And I'm proposing we make it clear we don't support it. And then we can write separately saying that we want to hear this, or as a general committee business.
Well, it is an important distinction based on the nods I'm seeing around the table. So I think, Joe, if you want to take 30 seconds and think of the language you would like to propose so that we can make sure the second is on that and that we're clear on what we're voting on. Well, you can vote no and people can vote no.
Yeah, people can vote no if they don't like the amendment, clearly.
Didn't want to be controversial. I'm just going to say that I propose that we remove the second paragraph and instead qualify that the compromise was made back when, and we do not support the additional 3 months, and that the community board will take this matter up in the future. How's that?
Everyone clear on that?
Let's close.
Okay, so now we will, if there are any questions on the motion, we can hear those questions. Otherwise, we will take it for a vote. Okay, so all in favor, raise your hand and keep your hands raised. In favor of Joe's motion of the amendment, which is striking paragraph 2, saying that we cannot support this, but that we are open to discussing, which is how you ended, that we're open to discussing. And if you're if you're online, we need to see hands raised as well. If you could just use your yellow hand so we register you. Yeah, can you hear us online?
Yes.
Okay. So you are not raising your hand because you are not in favor. Got it.
All right.
Okay. So everyone can put their hand, Jesse can put their hands down. Okay. If you are opposed, you can please raise your hand. Or Jesse.
Got it.
My hands are. Okay, and not everyone has voted yet, so we're going to go through. You can take your hands down. If you are present, not eligible, please raise your hand.
I'll be right. I just want a second.
Okay, and if you're abstaining, please raise your hand.
But I don't want that first paragraph to piss off the industry that they go after us, which is what they are doing right now. There was an abstention over there?
Okay, I'm sorry to call this out, but Lisa, did you vote? I'm not sure we captured your hand. Did you put a yellow hand up? You're on mute, but I don't know what you're voting for, so. I
voted no.
You voted no.
No.
But sorry, just to be clear, did you have your hand, did you vote? I just don't want to count you twice.
Yes.
You did. Okay. Thank you. Sorry for that.
I think Lisa's yellow hand was not up, but her physical hand was up.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
I've got 25 opposed to the amendment, 14 for.
Sorry.
All right. I'll start again from the beginning. I have 14 voting yes for the amendment. I have 25 voting no for the amendment, and I have 3 abstentions. So the motion does not pass.
So to remind folks, if someone else wants to make another motion, that is still an option, or we can take the letter to a vote. I just want to be clear on what is on the table. If there are no further comments, though, we will move on to the next letter.
I have a comment just real quick.
Okay, sorry, David Warren.
Okay, I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but I'd like to add in that since if we do vote for this, that they add that the public will be allowed to use the restrooms for the restaurants, because we're giving away land And I think that it's a give back from the restaurant to the people of the public, because we have a shortage of restrooms in the city for pedestrians.
Okay,
So
that's
this-
being received as a friendly amendment, and I think, is it, she just said it was. She said it was.
Brad should be happy with that.
Okay,
Jessica,
there were,
could we just vote on this just for clarity's sake on this one item so everyone we can just.
we vote at the end on all of our letters, so we'll vote at the
Okay.
end. Thank you, though. Sorry, 1 second.
I just want to reiterate, I would like to add an amendment to charge the business $200 a year to go into a public fund related to the Block Association.
They are.
Second, is there the process? Sorry, guys, I know
I mean,
it's
let me
difficult.
just respond to that from a technical standpoint. So the businesses are already paying a fair amount, and if the time was longer, I presume they would be paying more. So it's not free right now.
Okay, but I want to, guys, we need mics, and guys, we have a process. We have a motion.
Madam
We
Chair,
need a
point of
second.
information.
And we don't have everyone on mic, so sorry, David, just a second. And everyone can't hear what's going on. So we have a second. Now we can discuss it. Ted, I'll give it to you for a comment on this motion, which is, I think, directly relevant to what you wanted to say. And then David will come back to you.
Okay, I just wanted to say from a business point of view, we are spending $10,000 just to keep the outdoor structured with the fees. That doesn't include the building and the breakdown of it. Those little thin things that they try to upgrade to tell people, oh, they're going to be cheaper and you can store them easily. Well, guess what? They're not easily materials to make. The companies that want to give it to you are going to charge you $10,000 to $10,000 to $40,000 to build it, and then they're going to charge you $3,000 or $4,000 per month in the wintertime to store it for you. So it makes it impossible. So the reason why people aren't going, oh, give this much or that much to block associations is the fact that there's not that many applicants going out there and doing it. There used to be like 20,000, 200,000 outdoor seating, and now there's like 2,000 or less. So there's just not that, oh, let's just tack on an extra $200 per business and charge them 10,000 and have them build 40,000, then have them take it down and rebuild another 40,000 next year. Nobody's going to have to do outdoor seating, and no one's going to want just everyone walking in to use their bathroom when they're spending all this money. So that's the reality of what it is, and I'm glad you gave me the opportunity to speak, because a lot of the stuff that's been said is just not people not understanding like actually what it entails and how much it costs. So I hope that sheds light to some of you that are not in this business. And the practicality is, it's nice to say that, oh, homeless people will be sleeping in there and this and that. That's an assumption, but guess what? I'm practicing it, and I haven't had it happen at my spaces. So it's not that it's set in stone that that's going to happen. So keep that an open mind. There's no outdoor structures right now for the winter. There's not even basically like a fabric over top to protect them. So that's not an issue. That's not going to be an issue.
And
Madam
may I speak as
Chair,
well?
wait, Madam Chair, what happened with my issue with the public bathrooms? I'm confused about
We
that.
said yes to that.
Oh, you said, okay, thank you so much.
Jessica, my point is that this letter, the objective of this letter was to be very, very focused on pedestrian. We are the pedestrian space is under attack. You know, I have to say the industry is doing it on purpose. And we need to secure the gains that we gained into that last bill. So I think it's all very important that we focus enormously on that. We're going to send that letter to all the elected officials and ask them to, support us in that effort. And I wouldn't want to dilute that with a lot of different issues.
So I would just remind folks that we have many opportunities to be able to offer guidance, and maybe that some of this could be addressed in future discussion where there's more opportunity for robust community input and feedback. But nonetheless, we have a motion and we have a second. And if there are no more comments on the motion, we should take a vote on that motion, which is to tack on a $200 fee to with the extension, or just in general. Brad, can you just in general to the community fund? Okay, so we will now do another vote on this. And again, folks online, please use your yellow hands so we can make sure we get a count and avoid confusion. And if you are in favor, please raise your hand both in the room and online and keep it up. It is on this specific amendment. It is just on, and then later at the end of the meeting, we will vote on the letter with the amendment. No. This is just an amendment on $200 fee. This is all we're voting on is if you want to include to go to the community fund, to a community fund. That is all. We're not voting on the letter as a whole, just whether or not we should add this amendment to the letter.
Small structures for very small businesses that are like 5 feet, or is it going to be the same for big companies like Towel that can have up to 40 feet? So they're going to get hit with 200 too, is the same as a small business?
And is it for the sidewalk cafe as well?
The answer again, Brad made the amendment, or the motion, excuse me. He is saying yes, it will be the same for everyone. We should vote. So please, again, keep your hands up. If you're voting yes on this proposal, $200 to a community fund, please raise your hands in the room and online. Okay, anyone online, if you're voting yes, your yellow hand is up. Okay, you have it. Okay, hands down. If you're voting no, please raise your hand.
Did he count me?
Okay, everyone can take their hands down, including online. If you are present, not eligible, please raise your hand. And if you're abstaining, please raise your hand. 1, 2. I see 2. Okay, Jesse.
The amendment received 4 votes in the affirmative and 38 votes in the negative, and I believe 2 abstentions.
So the motion does not pass. Okay, seeing no other suggestions for another motion, I'm going to turn it back, I think, to Christine for number 19, or you're good? Okay. Sorry. Okay, I sorry.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if it's possible, but because we haven't really hit on this second point in this letter, the disagreement seems to be primarily over the second paragraph. Is it possible to split this into 2 letters that we vote on?
2 letters that say what?
Well, one letter
Just
for
clarification.
the first the paragraph 17, line 17 to 21, and then the other one that brings up the second concern, so that we vote on both concerns separately.
Are we talking about the next line, the next letter, or are we still on the first letter?
Still on letter 18. We've been discussing removing, first we voted to not remove the issue, but there seems to be a lot of.
But what's the benefit of splitting the 2?
So that we can still.
We have
support the
voted on
second.
the amendment. The amendment was
Okay.
about the first paragraph. So that kind of resolved whether, what.
Can we vote to remove it without replacing it with something then? Instead of just replacing it with a.
We've already voted on that.
She's proposing to just strike, she's proposing to strike the paragraph and not replace it with anything, which is different than the first amendment, the first motion that was voted on. So that is, it is different. And if
Your point was that the goal of this letter is to improve sidewalk clearance.
Yes.
So.
Well, you make a good point. Although the first paragraph is important to negotiate the package with the industry. You know, in a sense, we need more pedestrian space, but they need something more.
That paragraph, though, is about roadway cafes,
Yeah,
not sidewalk cafes. So if you said the goal of the letter is sidewalk clearance, then
I know maybe I was too specific, but there are some strategic implication in saying, okay, the industry, you are going to get more space and more time on the roadway, and therefore we are pushing back on your initiative to take more sidewalk. And those two things kind of go together in my mind, and certainly would be helpful to the elected officials to negotiate the situation.
Can I make a motion?
You're agreeing that that's the process. Let me.
This proposal. You still chat for a motion.
Can I make a motion just to vote on this the way it is in favor of it so we can move on?
Yes.
I was told no.
Yeah, we're not voting on this.
No, we're not doing that, right? I'm going to pull my hair.
And if folks can stop turning off the mic, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Just a quick thing, Christine. I think what she's suggesting is pretty good, because if I want to say yes to one part and no to the other, and if I vote no, the whole letter gets voted no. But if we break it in, yeah. So I'm making a motion that I just, based on what was just discussed just now, I think we should break it into two letters, and I'm making that motion. Anyone
Okay,
seconding it?
that's an unfriendly amendment.
Okay, so we have a second from Aaron. We had a first from Buren, and it is to separate lines. Sorry, lines. Can you tell me again which lines? So people have it. Line 17, I think.
(17 to 21). Oh, no. Yeah.
Line 17 through 21, making that letter as that current content stand on its own, and that it would be removed from this letter and two letters would be sent. So we have a second already. Joe, did you have a comment on that?
I just like that approach because I very much am in favor of the rest of this letter without that.
Okay.
And I can feel conscience to vote no against something, but say yes on everything else.
Great. Okay, so we're back at this. So everyone in the room, if you are in favor of removing it from the current letter 18, creating a new letter, please, 18B, thank you. And please raise your hand now in the room and online and keep it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maria, is your hand up or not up? Up, okay. Anyone online? We have one online. Okay. Everyone can put their hands down. If you are voting against, please raise your hand. Okay, any present not eligible? You can take your hands down online. Any abstaining? 1 abstaining. 2 abstaining.
3,
2.
4.
I'm sorry, 3, 4.
I got 3.
No, there's 4 there.
The $200 man.
Okay, thank you all for participating in robust discussion and debate. We will now move on to WP. Oh,
I don't have to. No. So 14 in the affirmative, 26 in the negative, 4 in abstentions.
so we will later vote on the letter as it is in the Dropbox. With the friendly amendments that, Christine, do you want to summarize the friendly amendments? The friendly amendments so people know what they will be voting on when they vote.
Oh, yeah. The can you open that? Just So the first friendly amendment was that we are going to say that what the intro 1421, the support of the extension is conditioned on the public safety for the pedestrian, the rest of the letter, right? And there will be a new paragraph talking about the pedestrian space and being very opposed to returning to the narrow space we had before. And so, and there is some bathroom implications somewhere there. And that they have taken, we are supporting the 1421 only if the space is being used as a restaurant. And if it's not, then they would be taken down or have some penalties or whatever.
You
right?
also said you'd reference the enforcement, which is in line R19 in
Right.
this letter as well.
Right.
Okay. Did you?
Yes.
That is the letter that you will be voting on. Well, you need a mic, so.
So just to clarify, we're still voting to extend the outdoor dining cafes on the roadway to 12 months without any community input. We're just deciding that. It was never announced to anyone. It's just us doing this. Okay.
I think
that is the letter. The letter is what the letter is. If you have comment, we need to bring this to home. Josephine, did you have a question on the letter? Different letter. Okay, you have a question on letter 19? 22. Oh, fine. Sorry. Okay, great. Now we're moving on. Thank you to WPE. 22 is transportation, but she was in BLP. She was speaking on behalf. Sorry. Okay. Marty, you said? Sorry.
I seriously hope that this presentation from Waterfront and Parks will be less than 3 minutes. Letter, I got the number, letter 20 is about scaffolding in Matthew Palmer's Park. There's been a number of complaints. The letter has been modified to be clearer in some respects. There was a suggestion it also be sent to NYPD, which I think is a good suggestion. And go ahead.
Sorry, you guys, what?
He wanted to move it from a CC to also be addressed to, and I think that's fine. Katie, Katie's the author of this letter, by the way.
Hi. So Paul had asked about a friendly amendment to, instead of CCing DOB and NYPD on this letter, to have it addressed to them as well, to address it to all three agencies. I asked Jesse, do we do that? Do we address things to all three agencies, or is it fine to just have them CC'd? And the concern was, my initial concern was, Parks is the overall agency that oversees all of the issues in the letter. DOB only pertains to some issues and NYPD to the other issues. So I think it is more appropriate to just CC those agencies, because ultimately the totality of the letter is addressed to Parks. And Jesse mentioned that if we sent it to all three agencies, they may just point fingers at who's responsible for responding. So I think it's better to just leave the letter addressed as it is, with the CC to DOB and NYPD.
Great letter. Just one suggestion to add to your request. The number one request should be to lock up that park at dusk. That's the number one request. Max has agreed to do that. I think that's.
I will double check the language in the letter. We did have a request by a parent asking about if we can adjust the times at which those gates are locked. And it really comes down to a park scheduling issue. And I think now that we're in November, we have the time change. I think parks are going to be closing earlier anyway. So that might need further discussion, but we can look at the letter and see if that
Yes,
is
we've had
incorporated.
that problem at Hell's Kitchen Park where it does not get locked at night. So, because they don't have a lot of
There,
steps.
there's a line in the letter that says temporarily close the park earlier in the evening until conditions stabilize or the scaffolding is removed.
And make sure the park is locked. That's critical. The second question I have is
You understand, Katie just said it, the locking of the park is also a staffing
Gotcha.
issue.
Sure. The Arnold Belkin mural with the scaffolding, anything going on with that you're aware of? No. Okay, thanks.
Hey, all. I just want to talk about why it is that I asked for NYPD.
You know you're blowing my 3 minutes, right?
Good. I'm following the Marty DeCat. I don't like this word in this letter model. So no, the reason I raise this as a issue is because we all know that when scaffolding goes up anywhere in our neighborhood, it is a magnet for homelessness. It's a magnet for drug activity. And the problem with this park scaffolding is that that's what's happening. And I want to call more attention to NYPD to patrol the park more regularly, be more attentive to the scaffolding concerns we have in the neighborhood, and to blame DOB or blame parks for the failure to monitor the drug uses that's going on there. I just don't feel it's a strong enough position to take. And that's why I asked for that. This scaffolding is attached to my building. I live next to that park. It is not, I mean, it's a park, it's a playground in the city. Yes, there are problems, I recognize that. But to lock the gates at dusk at 4:30 in the afternoon, I think cuts more people out of the park than currently are afraid to go in. And that park is used heavily all day. The charter schools in the neighborhood that don't have access to playgrounds send all their kids in there all afternoon. It is a very busy and very active park for use. It's a very busy and active park for abuse. And I think we need to be a little bit more cognizant of that.
Thanks. You should know that in the committee, we have had numbers of discussions about parks enforcement and cooperation with the police department, and those discussions undoubtedly will go on. And I just want to repeat that it is CC'd to parks and it's directed to parks, but CC'd to NYPD. And
Marty, there's some
I hope
questions
we're
over
not
here.
being just semantic in the discussion.
Hi, this is just a friendly thought. What about if it was two letters, the same letter, one going to parks, one going to the NYPD? They obviously know to answer it themselves because it's directed to them individually.
That should be, if there's a separate letter written to NYPD about enforcement in parks, the committee would need to have another discussion about that. That's not something that we've talked about at all.
Just trying to give a friendly thought.
Okay, thank you, Marty.
So the letter, except for some of the changes that were friendly amendments, will go as in the Dropbox.
Do you have anything to add on letter 21?
No?
Thank you, Katie. Okay, any comments or questions on letter 21? Okay, thank you,
I
Marty.
blew the 3 minutes, sorry.
All right, maybe we'll take it from transportation. We'll take 3 minutes from transportation.
Yeah, sure. And also, I mean, I don't need to go through all the letter. I mean, I can just ask for questions or comments, but not tripping. No problem. All right, real quick. So letter 22, there is a massive water main replacement coming our way that is going to take place over many, many years in Chelsea. Our letter tries to address some of the transportation effects of that. To respond to Pam's comment, we hear that about widening the sidewalk, but we actually think that that should be a separate letter. So thanks for bringing that to our attention, and we will take that up at committee next month. We also should say that we recommended that the DCB or DDC, excuse me, that they present also to HHS because the effects of this, it's so broad, and how much disturbance this whole project is going to cause. So we didn't want to be actually the only committee to get the presentation. So we're hoping that others hear from them as well. But I know that there's some questions and possibly friendly amendments.
Thank you. I mean, this is recognizing that you already said that you're going to pass this on to HHSS as well, but I'm wondering if you could add to line 18 when you're talking about the construction disruption, bringing noise, dust, rodents to that, because that's a very important component to this.
Sure.
I went back and watched the tape, but I didn't really hear any rodent mitigation that was going on, but at least to add that. Also, further down, I believe it is line 24 to add, when you're talking about discussing with the relevant block associations, to also add schools, because there are some preschools in the area and FIT high school. But I would even go, with the rodents, I would go also further and just state something in there that, you're expecting them to comply and even go above and beyond rodent mitigation, because this is going to be a very big problem, especially in between the blocks where you have garden beds. They're going to be all over the place and going into the garden bed. So to add some kind of language about that.
Yep. Both friendly amendments, or all friendly amendments. And a good warning for us all: the rats are coming. They are coming back. Get prepared. I saw other hands. Were there other hands? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Jesse, Pamela spoke about the possibility of widening 21st Street sidewalks between 7th and 8th Avenues to mitigate the loss of the 3 feet from each side of the street during an aborted effort to create a trucking street.
David,
I heard what you just said about doing that in a separate letter in the future. However, this letter ends by saying sidewalk widening should also be explored where appropriate, et cetera. I don't see why this isn't an appropriate place to add that special request.
I actually just think it was only because we would make it stronger if we call it out in a separate letter. But I mean, I'm sure adding a reference to 21st Street, I think is friendly. I think that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Okay. And Pamela also.
Oh, is it not going, the issue? Oh, that's what it is. Thank you, Christine. Christine's reminding me of why we talked about this. It's because we don't think it's going to the right. The sidewalk widening would go to DOT and this is going to DDC. That's why we would write. So we want to write a separate letter to DOT to make sure that they are paying attention to the sidewalk widening issues.
Would it be worth doing it both in this letter and a separate letter to DOT?
Well, we'll take it up at committee. I just think we'll write another letter to DOT.
Okay, and Pamela also suggested modifying line 28, which says refrain from nighttime work.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Thank you. I knew I was forgetting something. Yes, that's
unless
a
required by DOT to say refrain from nighttime work on avenues unless required by DOT, and also to say no nighttime work on residential crosstown streets between 6th and 8th Avenues. Would you consider that a friendly amendment?
I would. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot that was another comment that was made.
Thank you.
Friendly.
I think that this letter is really great overall. I think in line 29, where you ask for sufficient notice for water turnoffs and turn-ons, it would be stronger if we clarified what sufficient notice is.
So that's the really one of the that's the main issue that really needs to go to. We want to go to Triple HS. Like of some other issues, we were concerned that maybe we want other committees to hear about their plans for water turning on and turning off because so many blocks will be affected, and we weren't sure we had the capacity to handle it all on our own. So I'm happy to make that stronger and try to get more detail, to ask for more information from them to make sure that they're providing us sufficient notice. But I think maybe Triple HS can drill down on that particular issue even more and get more detail from them directly.
Yeah, I just think it'll strengthen it if we don't leave it up to them to say like, oh, we gave you an hour notice.
Yeah, no, totally.
Totally.
Maybe, Jesse, as a friendly, we can just say, and we anticipate providing specific suggestions on this matter.
Yep.
So that they know that it's in our court, not theirs, to
Great.
determine what's appropriate.
Great suggestion. Thank you.
Okay, can we move
Yes,
on?
moving on, hopefully quickly. 23 is there, everyone notices, there have been barricades up forever at the 42nd Street subway stop. We're not entirely sure why they're there. We'd like to have that discussion with the NYPD. But if they really don't have a good justification for them, we would love to get some pedestrian space back. We're removing unused taxi stand, hopefully not controversial. 25. The Target, this is about the Target trucks continuously parking in the bike lane and loading and unloading on 10th Avenue. It has been a problem for a very long time. So we have made a couple suggestions about making it actually changing the parking to a loading zone so they're no longer parking in the bike lane. And then also asking them to consider moving actually around to 44th Street. And Paul recommended as a friendly amendment, just some stronger language around that, which I adopted. So any questions or comments on that? Great. And then the city bike dock, we're just relocating it. It's facing the wrong way and it's getting in the way of a lot of pedestrians. So we propose a few different spots that are less crowded. Great. Thank you very much.
All right. Greg Morris has been patiently waiting from Puerto Rico to present on letter 27.
Almost.
Greg.
Yeah, I'm actually at Somos. So all those elected officials who couldn't spare the time today, I want you to know
Thank you,
I'm
Greg.
coming live from San Juan. So this is Chelsea Land Use was discussing a certificate of appropriateness for proposed alterations to 473, 475 West 22nd Street. The committee voted against approval, both for its strange and discordant appearance. Also, the proposed design contradicted the requirements of the commission's row house manual. And I want to extend my gratitude to David Holoka for checking that, following up on that, and producing this letter. It was an extraordinarily valuable conversation, but the committee did choose to against approval.
Any questions or comments on this letter? Okay. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Dave. We'll turn it over to Rodney on cannabis.
Hi, Rodney Washington, member of the Cannabis Task Force. We have one letter, item 28, in support of a cannabis application between 27th and between 28th and 29th Streets on 10th Avenue.
Any questions, comments? Okay. Thank you, Rodney. We'll turn it over. Joe, are you taking? Great.
So we have 4 items. The first 2 I'll be managing. 31 will be Kevin, and then 32 Maria's conflict at Asphalt, will do that also. So the first 2 letters are about Black Spruce, the 308, 340 buildings on West 49th Street. A lot of serious drug problems, a lot of serious bad service problems at a repair. This is our second letter on this. And we're writing a separate letter because one of the issues we identified is that there is a homeless component required. However, there was never any social service requirement for these homeless tenants coming in, and people are not succeeding in creating a huge problem in the building. And we want the tax exemption to be modified to make that requirement. So this owner is actually providing services, contracting for it. Kevin, turn it to you for item 31.
Oh, there's a question on the earlier letter.
Sorry. A question on 29?
Nope, 30.
30, yes.
I don't, what page is this? Maybe the second or third page? Second page.
Give me the line number.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It's I'm lines 57 through 59. So I would ask that lines 57 after the comma through line 59 is deleted. The paragraph is basically saying, sort of giving the history or it's saying that that there was no obligation on New Amsterdam in their regulatory agreement to provide social services.
That's correct.
Right. So anyway, it's explaining that. But then we say in line 57 through 59, HPD should hold New Amsterdam Property Management legally responsible to provide on-site social services.
Oh, maybe
so-
we just make this 2 sentences better, right?
Well, so there is no obligation. We're asking them to add an obligation but we should not be saying, this is making it sound like HPD needs to go in there and bully them for not doing something, but they were never required to do it. We're saying we want them to add it. Anyway, I'm just suggesting
So
we should delete after the comma from 57 to 59.
what I think would be better is, why don't you just send a rewrite of how that should read to make it clear? Because I think that it's clarity you're trying to get there, right?
Yeah, and I'm trying to, yes.
Right. So
Avoid
let's,
saying that they should be legally responsible for something they were never asked to do.
right. We really want to make them legally responsible. That's what it is. Okay. Got it. Thank you, Katie.
Okay, we're turning it to Kevin for the next letter.
Thanks, Jessica. Letter 31, basically in brief, this is to support Ryan Chelsea Clinton and other community health centers in New York State. Ryan serves the most vulnerable and is an asset in our community. The 340B program enables Ryan to get outpatient drugs at lower costs and to spend the difference to serve more patients and expand services. Why is this necessary? Attempts are being made to curtail and erode the 340B program. This legislation, both in New York State Senate and the Assembly, would protect community health centers like Ryan from onerous requirements. And then I've made a friendly amendment in coordination with Joe for lines 81 to 82, just to clarify a certain segment in the letter, that Ryan Chelsea Clinton remains seriously concerned about the restrictions on the HRSA funds that are intended to support general operations and primary care. These restrictions place RCC at risk of losing essential funding simply for providing gender-affirming care.
Any comments or questions? Okay, back to you, Joe, for the last letter.
Number 32. So this is a good thing. Ryan, actually, we made a budget request and they got a mobile van. However, funded by the dormitory authority, but they did not, dormitory authority did not fund the outfitting of the van. So now we're doing a follow-up saying, you have the van, but let's outfit it. Exactly.
Just
It's a van with no medical equipment inside. That's the problem.
going back to the previous letter, just very quickly, because Maria made a good point. Maria's name should not be listed on as a signatory on the letters for Ryan Health Center, as she was P&E. She is employed by Ryan Health Center, so that will be corrected in case there's anybody that has a concern about that.
Okay, thank you, Triple HS. I'll just quickly review the two letters that came from exec. One, I want to thank Jesse Greenwald for his work in developing and really taking the initiative on this letter. I think it's very clear. I hope everyone's read it. You're familiar with the concerns that are happening there. And CB5 has similarly written a letter to this effect. The second letter is for ratification, went before exec due to a hearing that was taking place regarding a request for exemption on air code and idling law. Any comments on those letters? Okay, and thank you, Christine, for taking the lead on that second letter. For a new business item, as you heard earlier about our statement of district needs and all of the work that's done for that, we actually, we had a technical error made at exec, which was that a person who made the amendment, the motion, excuse me, was also present, not eligible. So we are bringing it back tonight for new business, but it otherwise passed at exec. Any questions on the statement of district needs document? And if so, I'll obviously turn that to Roberta. Okay. Do we need a motion? We don't need a motion. Yeah. Yeah, because we're going to vote on it now. So it's just like all of our other letters, but thank you. But yeah, thank you. Okay. So seeing as there are no further questions on our letters, I'll invite Katie to bring us up. I don't actually have my notes. Is there anything I'm supposed to say at the end of this thing for voting? Katie? And if you're remote, we'll ask that you please fill out your attendance sheet and your voting sheet if that's how you're submitting. Katie.
Thank you. Okay. So as a quick reminder, I'm going to call out your name. You're going to tell me how you're voting, and then I'm going to repeat it for posterity. Ted Arenas. P&E on 19, yes to the rest. Roberta? Yes to all. Christine Berthet. Yes to all. Leslie. Hang on a second. Abstain on 28. Yes to the rest. Viren. No to what? No to 18. Yes to the rest. No to 18. Yes to the rest. Okay. Liam.
Yes to all.
Oh, there you are. Yes to all. Kevin. Abstain on 18. Yes to the rest. Lisa.
Yes to all, and I've submitted.
Yes to all, and she has submitted. Oh, she's making the rest of us look bad. All right, well done, Lisa. Marty. No to 18. Yes to the rest. Paul. No to 20. Yes to the rest. Pete. Yes to all. Jeffrey. Okay, you said no to 18, P&E on 31. P&E on 31, yes to the rest. Thomas. Yes to all. Wendy. Not here. Max. All right, Max. All right, we got to just slow down there, my friend. All right, say it one more time. All right, Max is P&E on 20, 21, 22, and 35, and yes to the rest. Max, if you submitted online, can you at least say that as a good thing right now? Well done. Matt.
Yes to all.
Matt is yes to all. Okay, Jesse.
On 28 and yes to the rest.
P&E on 28 and yes to the rest. Aaron. No on 18, yes to the rest. And submitted, well done. David. No to 18, yes to the rest. Frank. Yes to all. Josephine. Abstain on 18, yes to the rest. Inga. No to 18, abstain on 28, you said? Abstain on 28, yes to the rest. Carrie?
Yes to all.
Yes to all. Ella? No to 28, yes to the rest and submitted. Well done. Matthew?
I submitted, but I'd like to change 18 to no if I could.
Okay, so tell me overall. So you're saying
Everything is yes, but I submitted already, but everything is yes.
Okay.
And no to 18. But when I submitted, I had a yes for 18.
Okay, got it. Can you please submit again, Jesse's asking?
Yes, I can.
And so with that correction, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
Is Chris LeBron here? No, okay. Rachel. No, Rachel's not here, sorry. James.
Yes to all.
Yes to all, thank you. Ellen. Was Ellen Mark? Oh, sorry, not here. Brendan. Yes to all? Okay, thank you. Sanford.
Yes to all.
There you are. Yes to all. Shanice? Yes to all. Did you say and submitted? Well done. Okay, Charles. Charles is yes to all and submitted as well. Well done. Gregory from Puerto Rico. Oh, okay. We'll come. I'll keep. Okay, Tina. No to 20, yes to the rest. Mike Noble?
Yes to all and submitted.
Well done. Yes to all. JD? Yes to all. Maria? Uh-oh. Wait, hold on. 18, no. Okay. 31 and 32, P&E. Yes to the rest. Okay, thank you. Alan? Yes to all. Brad? Okay, so no on 18, abstaining on 20 and 22, yes to the rest. Is that correct? Great, thank you. Joe? Okay, I think you said no on 18, P&E on 35, and yes to the rest. Wait, what happened? Wait, hold on. Maria is changing. Hold on. Maria, your P&E on 35 as well? So that means your P&E on 3 letters. Is that right, Maria? Okay. Okay. So again, so Joe was no on 18, P&E on 35, yes to the rest. Okay. Dolores is not here, I think. Is that right? Okay. Katie? No on 18, yes to the rest. Brian? No on 18, no on 20, yes to the rest. Me, yes to all. Hector? No on 18, yes to the rest. David? Warren?
Yay to all.
Yes to all. Great, thank you. Rodney? Yes to all and submitted. Well done. Alice?
Hi, my apologies. I'm having technical difficulties. So my vote is no to number 28. Yes to
So
the
Alice,
rest.
I'm sorry. You're really, really echoey right now. Can you repeat that from the beginning?
I'm having technical issues. So I am voting no to number 28 and yes to the rest.
Alice, I believe you just said that you're voting no on 28 and yes to the rest. Is that correct?
Correct.
Marvelous. Okay, thank you. And then is Gregory back? I don't see him. Okay, we'll just hope he comes back. And Jessica? Yes to all. Okay, is there anybody I missed? Okay, all right, there you go.
Thank you. I want to just thank everyone. I know tonight was difficult with so many emotions, but that is how we make a better product. It's also how we inform committee discussion to come back, and it's really part of a rich process. So thank you all for your patience. And with that, can I get a motion to adjourn? I'm sorry, Greg. Greg,
Can I vote or
we'll
no?
take
Can
your
I
vote.
vote?
Sorry, we almost adjourned.
All yes, all yes.
All yes to all. Okay, saved
Yes
by
to
the
all.
bell. Motion to
Yes.
adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
Max. Thank you,
Happy
Ella. Have a
Somos.
great night, everyone.
Hello. Good to see you. Need me to do anything? Wait. Good.